and welcome to the A Traveling Knitter channel. My name is Steph and I live in Columbus, Ohio, the northern side of it. This is the February episode. I am recording it a little bit early because I'm gonna be in Disney World at the end of February and I'm so excited. So anyway, I'm doing the February podcast just a little bit early, so I do have intentions to finish 2 more things, if everything goes well, by the end of the month. So let's just jump in to my finished objects because I have 2. I know, I'm so excited. February has been productive just like January was, and I really credit it to the bullet journal. I finished 2 things so far in the month of January. The first thing, I have woven the ends in. I just haven't cut them off because I did not have scissors with me when I was doing said weaving. And I will grab my adorable Bumblebee sock blockers because if you haven't figured it out yet, I finished the 2x2 ribbed socks that I made for my little brother. I hope they fit him. Oh, I'll put the other one on. All right, I did not use a pattern. These were just a 2x2 ribbed sock. The last time I showed these, I'd only had this much done. And so this was my progress keeper. So I did all of this and a complete second sock. So the sock blocker, you can tell the sock is longer than the sock blocker, which is good because this is a adult small. So my brothers don't have very large feet, so I am lucky in that aspect. So I have a woman's size 7.5, and then my brothers are a men's size 10.5, both of them. So not that much bigger than my feet. And this is what it looks like. I didn't use a pattern, it's just 2x2 rib, and then I split and kept it on the top but not on the bottom. The yarn is a Barocco yarn, which I can't, okay. In my head, I think I saw the ball band for this yarn under my couch, but I have not confirmed that and I don't have it anymore. So I don't actually remember if it was 100 grams or 115 because I did write down how much I have left over. I have quite a bit. This could definitely make a pair of socks for myself if I did contrast heels, toes, cuffs, and just didn't make them as long. Would definitely have enough to do that. I would say this is maybe 30 grams, I think, 35. I forget, I wrote it down and I don't remember. The heels and toes, I used a black yarn, which I have another, yeah. So I had 2 of these and I got these, I think, like I don't think I bought these, but anyway, this is actually more of a DK sock. Like it's thicker than the Barocco was, and you can really, like you can tell when you could absolutely tell when you're knitting with it, but I think on the socks you can also see. So if I take it off, you can absolutely see it. Like, look at that. You see how it like flares out for the heel and the toe, and then it comes in for the foot. So this is fingering, this is, I think, a very thick fingering or even a DK. I think it's not going to be that big of a deal when you're wearing it. Hopefully he doesn't notice it when he's wearing it, but you know what? If he doesn't like it, that's fine. It's not that big of a deal to me. You know, I love knitting for the knitting aspect. And I did ask him if he would wear them, and he said yes. So hopefully they're okay. Oh, yarn down. So that means I can take my progress keepers off. And finish socks. Makes me so happy. And my other finished object was the other thing I was predicting. And it is the Oceanborn scarf. I have also woven the ends on this, but I just haven't cut them because I did not have scissors by me. A trend. I've done it, guys. I've done it. This scarf took ages to finish. So much time. This is going to be, this is Oceanborn by Audrey Borrego of the Yarn Flakes podcast. And this is a cabled scarf, which is so hard to show because of the yarn I chose. Like, can you see that? So you have all these cables and then some slip stitches, and then halfway through, you drop half of those cables. And then the last quarter, so you're doing half and then a quarter and a quarter is what I ended up doing. And the last is just basically a modified rib pattern. So I do need to block this still, but I wanted to show it on the podcast. And I just thought if I block it, it was going to probably not be dry by the time I recorded this. I have this much yarn left over, and I immediately cast something on with this. So 2 projects done, and I'm so happy. This is gonna be for my dad probably for Christmas. And yeah, so I'm gonna block it and pack it away. And I already have a Christmas gift done. And I'm so excited, so happy, so glad to have this off the needles. Towards the end, I was using Knit Pro's Royals. They're the ones that come in the like Paris Eiffel Tower packaging, and they are wood with metal tips. And I don't know what happened, but on one of the metal tips, it, like the metal coating peeled off, and so it was catching on the yarn, and while I would knit, it would be rough with the needles touching each other. I don't have sandpaper in my apartment because I don't do any sort of woodworking. So I was rubbing it against my jeans because that is what I like. If I need to file my nails in public because I've like broken something, I use jeans. Some of my jeans, like some are too soft, but a lot of my jeans you can like, life hack, you can use your jeans as a nail filer. So I tried to do that with the metal, definitely did not work. That was absolutely gonna rip a hole in my jeans. So yeah, I was kind of like iffy of maybe I could use some nail polish, I could use a nail filer to fix it. But then I sat on my needles and broke them. So decision made, I threw them away. Didn't need to fix it because I sat on them. Yes. So that's the tale of this scarf. I finally finished it, and the supplies are in the trash because I broke them. So after I finished the scarf, I had quite a bit of yarn left over, and I didn't want to just put it back in my stash and then it just sit there for years and years and years. So I immediately cast on a hat, and the hat is also going to be for my dad. It'll be a scarf and hat gift for Christmas. And I'm hoping I'll have enough yarn. Like I said, I have this much left, which is quite a bit. And I am doing a 2x2 rib hat. This is, I wrote it down, I believe. Or I didn't. No, I did. This is the Lovely Ribbed Hat by Purl Soho. It is knit in a sport weight yarn, and this is supposedly DK, but I feel like it's more fingering weight than DK. So I figured it would be fine. I cast on the largest size, which I think was 160 stitches on a 3.0 millimeter needle. Yeah, which on the Purl Soho website said was a 3. Or no, was a 2, a US 2. But my US 2s are 2.75, and then my US 3s are 3.5s. So I feel like a US 2.5 is a 3 millimeter, of which I think I have it in my tiny, like my ChiaoGoo, the tiny ones, but not the big ones. And the tiny ones were just going to be a little bit too small, and I didn't want to knit on such a tiny needle per se. So I went with 2.75, which with my track record is probably going to be better. I am a loose knitter, so going smaller is most likely going to be better. And I think it looks good. I think the gauge is good. It will be like a folded over brim, so it'll end up covering more and just being a bit warmer. The amount of folded over brim is going to be determined by how much yarn I have, because I do not want to like cast on different color yarn or anything like that. It's going to be however much I can get out of this yarn is going to be this hat. So that is my only new cast on. And I'm doing a kind of like a mini challenge or internal year-long challenge with my stash, and it is to stash down. And so I made a spreadsheet with all the yarn that I own with a number, and then I've been adding and subtracting each month as I purchase or receive yarn, use up, sell, get rid of yarn. So this doesn't count as a removal because I had already started this project before 2023. So the yarn was already in use, and this is kind of like a bonus project. So no numbers there, but I am going to be I am going to feel really good having used up this skein completely with having a matching hat. And it is kind of going to match because of the ribbing that is in that scarf. I have not worked on much else like many other projects because, again, like I finished the two things that I was heavily working on. I have put a little bit in those hats. Now I did knit a little bit on the poodle mittens. So those look like this. You can see that poodle coming out. Oh, the contrast looks so good on camera, right? Oh, so good. So I have gotten past the thumb. This is waist yarn that's in there. It's actually from the socks. And I have half of the mitten to go. And then I have a whole nother mitten. This is out of this big book of knitted mittens, 45 distinctive Scandinavian patterns by Jorrid Lindvik. This is $28, but you can get it for less than that on Amazon. At least I did. Knitpicks also sells this, so there's a couple of different places you can get this. I would recommend it. It's 45 patterns, color work. The back has an open template for you to design your own, as well as some additional sample charts and stuff. So I really like them. And I'm very excited to have these mittens for my mom. And when I finish these, I'll just mail them to her. Or if I finish them before my next visit, I'll just give them to her. Depending on if I have leftover yarn, I will also make a pair for myself because I really like these. The yarn I am using is Drops Flora, and I'm using a white and a gray. This one is the color 02. I'm not sure what the other one is, but it's the darkest gray and then the white one. And those are the projects I've worked on. So I do have my bullet journal, and this is what my January looked like when I filled it out. So I started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I should go to February. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13. I started with, so this is February, 13 projects. I finished 2. And then I frogged a 3rd one. So the Mila sweater, the one that I was pretty much finished with, the colorwork yoke sweater that also extended into the body that I had said, one was just very expensive. I used fingering weight hand-dyed yarn, and I had to buy a skein for every single color in the end that I only used 20 grams of. And then everything was held double, so I had to buy, how many? I think I had to buy 9 skeins of yarn for a cropped sweater. And some of the yarn is right here. Actually, all of that yarn is here, minus the main colors and stuff. So in the end, I was already having issues with the fit because it was so stiff. For me to get gauge, I just didn't love it. And every time I looked at it, I just thought about how much money this sweater was. And I didn't love it enough to want that much money in that sweater. So I frogged all of it. I think I frogged it on yesterday, Saturday. So it took a while. It was quite a bit of frogging to do it because, again, I had everything done except for one sleeve. So that put me at 9 projects, and those projects do include my cross-stitch needlepoint. So I have 2 cross-stitch needlepoint projects that are in there. So that's 9 total projects, and then I cast on the lovely ribbed hat. So that brings me back up to 10, which not that bad. We are seeing some progress. I don't foresee myself frogging anything else. I think all of the other projects are definitely going to be finished. And so as a recap, I do have the northeasterly blanket cast on. I have the Missoni Accomplished, which is right here. And I think probably the next project that I'm going to put in a lot of effort in. I unfortunately don't remember what needle size I was knitting. So it could turn into a frog this, which is annoying because I don't think I wrote down I did not write down what needle size, and I also did not write down what size I was knitting. I could rewatch, but honestly, it's probably gonna be quicker to just frog it and start over, which is hilarious that that's what I think is gonna be better. So yeah. I think this is going to be the next project that I'll breeze through because there is not a lot of thought. There's a bit of color work, but not a ton. I'll definitely need to put it in a different project bag because this is too small. Missoni accomplished. I have All of the Lights, which is a cardigan by Joji Locatelli. Definitely going to be a labor of love, that one, but I want the project so bad. And then I also have the Savion cardigan, which is by Audrey Borrego of Yarn Flakes. And that one I've said so many times is kind of just like a pick it up whenever I go, but it's always such a joy to knit it because it is cashmere. There's some cashmere in that yarn, and it is the Hey Sister Yarn Co. So that's that. And then I have the Avena socks, which are out of Lina 52 Weeks. And I am at the heel, and I did not understand the heel construction when I was knitting on this in 2022 or 2020. So I've kind of been hesitant about like, this is going to be the next focus project because I'm not sure how much like thought I need to put into it. So yeah, that's that. I also like hope these fit because there's like a lot of stretch, but also all of this like cable really tightens it. So hopefully it fits. And then I have two self-drafted, self-designed patterns that I would love to eventually publish. And a needlepoint and a cross stitch project. And that's what I have on the needles. I am making my way through. Here's the page for the less traveled sweater. You'll note there's no picture of it because the technology problems I've been having in the month of January are driving me nuts. I'm literally looking at my printer that is just sitting connecting. I don't know what it's trying to connect to, but it's definitely not my phone because it cannot print stuff from my phone right now, which is so frustrating. So there's supposed to be a picture of the sweater right here. I put some notes on the size, the needles, how much yarn I used, and I put one of the yarn tags, and I think it looks really cute. And that was the only thing that I finished in January, but for February, I'm gonna have two as of right now. Moving into stash acquisition. So February 1st was my birthday, and my mom works at a yarn store now. So almost all my gifts are yarn related, which is the best. So for Valentine's Day, she got me some stitch markers by Catrickles, which have different sheep breeds on them. They are so cute. So cute. Really like those. I also got some Fox stitch stoppers. So you just stick them on the end of your needle. And then for my birthday, I'd asked for 2 knitting books. Knit This, which I'd been trying to get this book since it came out, but it's really hard to get in the United States. And the yarn store my mom works at has it. So if you're interested and you want to get the Knit This book, this was by Veronica Lindback, which is Kutovakika. She is a YouTuber. You may know her from she knit her wedding dress in like 6 weeks or something. So she published this book, and I follow her on YouTube. I like her stuff, and I just wanted the book. And like I said, it was very hard to get in the United States. So the yarn store that does carry it is called Wool & Company. They do a very large online sale presence. So you can most likely get it from them. And I'll just show you a couple of the things in here. So there are sweaters, hats, accessories. There is this guy, the bubblegum sweater. It's got baubles all over. just a simple cardigan. Here's another simple sweater. So excited for this guy. And then I had this other book that I wanted to just know what was in this book. Ravelry does not have the patterns for this. I couldn't get them on, like I could not see what patterns were included online. So this was completely a cover by, and that it said Modern Nordic Patterns. This is Urban Knit by Lini Hoimela. And I like it. It has a lot of cool things in here. It's very, I don't know, very on trend. How cool is this sweater? Love that. That's the Labyrinto. There are some socks. Where's this cardigan? This is what I really want to make, is this cardigan. And that sweater. It's interesting because it's broken up not by like the style of the pattern, but by the colors of the yarn that was selected for the pattern. So just a different way of doing it. These, okay. This is the, what is this cardigan called? Syli, S-Y-L-I, and they have a couple different variations of it. So longer and shorter. Love it! And then there's a sweater. There's another sweater. No, there it is, this sweater, which is called Hurma, H-U-R-M-A. So that's that. 2 new books for my collection of books. Will I ever knit something from them? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine, but I like collecting them. I did get yarn added into my stash. A Homespun House Patreon yarn has not arrived yet, and it may be because I'm just filming a little bit too early to have received the January yarn, but that's still coming, so it may be included in my February acquisition total. One of my friends got me these 2 skeins, and it is Rosario's 4, only 1, and it's 250-gram balls, and it is 67% merino wool, 28% acrylic, 4% polyamide, and then 1% spandex. And it's like this teal color. It looks like a very thick single ply, and I think it will make either amazing mittens, and that will probably felt, or a really cool hat. And this was from Iceland? Not sure. My friend got it for me, I'm pretty sure, when she was in Europe, and I think she was in Iceland, but now I'm struggling to remember. And then my other friend got me this mini skein set, and it looks like an oil spill, right? I'll take it out. It's from Yarn Floozy, which I believe is a yarn dyer in New Zealand. She got it in New Zealand. And it's 7 20-gram minis, 100% merino. Look how cool these are. I think I'm definitely going to make something with them together. So cool. Definitely makes me think of an oil spill. like I could even make it even darker if I held it with a black kid. So what am I looking for? Not mohair, the other one, Surrey. I find mohair just a tad itchy, so I do like to swap Surrey instead of mohair. But right? Woo, so exciting. So I did not purchase any yarn other than the Patreon, which kind of doesn't count in my opinion, but I'm going strong, guys. We are 2 months into this year and I have not purchased yarn. Killing it on the yarn front. I am buying other things, but you know. So that's that. Other than the crafty stuff, life stuff, I am wearing my USA crop top because the US Women's National Team played today. That is when you will see me in red, white, and blue. It's basically whenever the US women's team plays. So it is the She Believes Cup. It is the cup that the US hosts every year in the February timeframe. And it is a very quick tournament. There's just 4 teams total. And yeah, so this year it is US, Canada, Japan, and Brazil. The US, I did a weird H there. The US played Canada already, we won. And today we played Japan, we won. So on Wednesday we will play Brazil, and I hope we win. I'm kind of iffy because of the Brazilian playing style, and Debinha just like somehow gets goals all the time. So I'm feeling confident, more confident than I was feeling last year, because that game against Canada was really good. The game against Japan was like fine. We weren't playing as fast, but whatever. The Canadian team is having a fight with their federation, just like so many women's sports teams. The Canadian soccer team, the national team, they won the Olympics. Okay, like they won the Olympics, and their federation is cutting funding to them. So, you know, this is a World Cup year for women. We're going to Australia and New Zealand in 5 months, 6 months? And the Canadian team has gotten funding cuts. They've lost like some of the infrastructure that they use. And of course, basically it's you're not as good as the men is basically the argument, like always. So just disappointing to see. You know, it's like, what else can you do? You won the thing. So yeah, the US is, you know, was in the same boat, but the US is finally on the other side because we signed a new deal that the men and women share the same winnings. So, which just in case you're curious, the US, I'm sure if you like watch my podcast, you know I'm a huge soccer fan and I talk about soccer quite a bit. The US have won 4 World Cups, which is the most out of any team, the women's side. The men have never won a World Cup. I don't know if the men have even gotten a medal at the World Cup. Maybe they have, not totally sure. But the women have won 4 times. And this World Cup, the men made it to the round of 16, or did they make it to the quarterfinals? Either way, the round of 16 or the quarterfinals, which are not like medals. You don't get medals for that, right? The round of 16 mean there are 16 teams still vying to you know, play in the final and semifinal, right? They made more money than the women did winning. So it's just like frustrating to see that. I'll put stats, you know, just in case you think I'm bullshitting, I'll put stats. But anyway, soccer is back. I'm here for it. I mentioned at the top of the podcast, I am going to Disney World. I am running the princess races. I'm only doing 2 of them. I'm running the 10K and the half marathon. I would have loved to do all 3, the 5K, the 10K, and the half marathon, but these races are stupid expensive. They're the most expensive races that I have ever done. I don't know if it's the most expensive that I will ever do, but it is the most expensive to this point that I've ever raced. I'll be there doing those 2 races. I'm also going to be at Disney for 4 days. I am so excited. I have not been to Disney World since 2017, I believe. Basically, I was there right during my last on-site install before moving internal and not doing installs full time and not traveling full time. So, which was great. So I've been to Disneyland in 2019. I think it was 2019. But yeah, I haven't been to Disney World since some of these other expansions. I'm so excited. Like, I haven't been since Star Wars was put in, and I had never watched Star Wars. I have been on a quest to watch the Star Wars movies. I'm loving it. I'm having so much fun. I'm watching them by myself, but on my personal Instagram channel, I will post like little bits and clips and stuff. Cause again, I'm really good at avoiding spoilers. I don't get on Reddit and I don't look up Star Wars things, and everything I know is just from, you know, being alive, right? And in my head, like jokingly, Toy Story is what spoiled Star Wars for me. I wouldn't have known that like Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's dad, but Toy Story told me that. So I watched episode 2 last night. And I am going in episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9. Although I looked up what order I should watch these things, because I'm including TV shows and all that stuff. So I'm following some sort of order. So I'm not sure if after I finish 3, if I immediately go to 7, or if I have to watch a TV show or something. Haven't looked. But I have seen Rogue One though. That's the one where they're on a planet that gets exploded by the Death Star. I have seen that. I saw that in theaters for Christmas with my family, which again, had no idea what was going on, did not know anything until close to the end, where I was like, hold up, is this planet about to explode and they all die? Yes. So I kind of knew that was about to happen, and I was rather excited. This may be weird. I love it when main characters die. Because it doesn't happen very often. It does not happen very often. I'm so excited for the rest of this month. I'll be doing lots of things. I'll be spending so much money. Not loving that aspect of going to Disney, but yes. So I do have to think about what I'm going to bring, because the parks are going to be crazy. I honestly wasn't even thinking about that until I was talking to one of my friends who goes to Disney a lot, and he had said, oh, I'm going to Disney too. And I said, when? And he's like, ooh, that's race weekend. We don't go that weekend because it's so busy. And I'm like, yeah, that checks out, because I am there for the race and I am also going to be there at Disney. So I want to bring knitting into the park, because I feel like we will be waiting in very long lines. So none of the projects I have, other than the 2x2 rib hat, none of them are very conducive for line knitting. So I'm going to most likely need to cast on socks and probably just either straight up stockinette or like an easy pattern. So I need to think about that. I'm like, I don't want to because I'm feeling so productive with the projects that I've been, you know, that I'm casting off, that I don't really feel like casting on, but I know I'm gonna be annoyed at Disney if I feel like I'm just wasting all of my time when I could be producing a stock or something. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Fingers crossed that I can upload it, because as I also mentioned, I'm having technology problems. My Mac keeps crashing. I cannot get it to stay on. I have done soft starts. I've loaded or started it in secure mode or safety mode or whatever. I have re-downloaded the operating system. It's just, it like will halfway load and then it just freezes. So I feel like it doesn't actually update anything. Like it keeps trying to update to a new version of the operating system and it just can't, and it just gets stuck and then it shuts down and then it's like dead, and then I have to force restart it again and then sit there, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it doesn't. So that's been super frustrating. But I just bought an Apple Watch, so I really don't want to buy another expensive electronic item in the same month. So I've just been trying to get this thing. Like every now and then I get it up and running and I'll play Spotify for a couple hours just to like keep it alive, and then, you know, as soon as it's like done, you know, I pause, I walk out of the room, I'm gone for an hour, it's like me dead. So that's been annoying. I hate when like electronics all die at once. Like my printer, there's only two things, my printer and my computer, which is annoying. And my TV, it's doing its stupid can't find the internet thing. So 3 electronic items in my life are not reliable right now. Whatever. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, give it a thumbs up or leave me a comment on the things that you're working on. Do you have anything exciting coming up in February, March? Do you have some exciting yarn or projects that you're really hoping to cast on? Are you feeling that monogamous knitting urge like I have been? Let me know. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.